Jeff.
Hey, Eric.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Here we are, day number, I don't know, whatever.
It's a day.
And first thing we got to do is check the weather.
Yes.
I'll go to you, Jeff.
Okay. It looks cold. I don't know.
You know what, Jeff?
It also might look warm.
Can we get a traffic report?
Yeah. I see nobody. Oh. Yes. Hey, Eric. It looks maybe cold.
Someone asked yesterday, we were doing an Instagram live, they said, how do you guys stay sane?
Well, that ship is long past. This is... When was the last time you went outside last night?
I did. I did a midnight run to the grocery store. That worked out very well. Mm-hmm. Got some groceries.
You found paper towels.
I found paper towels. There's a ton of paper towels. Don't know what to tell you guys.
Well, no.
This is at a grocery store.
I went to 3 different places, couldn't find paper towels. And
you went to the wrong places. This is a grocery store that has lots of paper towels.
That's true.
So, Jeff, we have a great episode here today.
Yes. We have Issa Rae on the podcast.
Issa Rae from Insecure.
And a bunch of other things. She's in movies.
She
has a whole life.
Yes, and it was great to catch up with her, to meet her, actually.
Yeah.
She was supposed to be on the podcast twice in 2019. Yes. And here we are in 2020. We got her on the phone, and we had a lot of fun.
So much fun.
She's a great, funny person.
I was so nervous.
Same. We don't really get nervous with these.
Yeah, I was very nervous for Issa Rae.
Same. I was just like, I don't want to
fuck it up.
And
then we didn't.
No, yeah.
So that's the best part.
Great job. And then, Jeff, we go down to Maryland, and we connect with
Merlin. Say Merlin.
Merlin.
Yeah, we go to Merlin.
That's like the wizard.
Oh yeah,
Merlin.
Yeah, but it is what they say, right?
Yeah. We go down to the DMV. Mm-hmm. You're well in right now, Jeff.
Oh my God.
We go down to the DMV.
That is some deep Merlin slang.
And we check in with Rico Nasty.
Yes.
Rico is a fireball dressed in a tornado's outfit, living a volcanic life. She is super awesome.
Yeah.
She's currently living in a house with
5 other people.
Half a dozen people.
Yeah.
And they're cooking. They're learning to make things.
Yeah, I don't know. The conversation with Rico was so off the wall crazy and so great.
But it was awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rico Nasty.
And then we could talk to Chika.
Chika, who is like everyone's favorite right now. Jay-Z's favorite. She's Puff's favorite.
She talks about that.
She does talk about that. She met them both at the Roc Nation Brunch. Please do check out her performance on NPR's Tiny Desk if you have not yet.
Yeah.
She is signed to Warner Records. She's putting out really dope and thoughtful music, and she's a really fun person. We checked in with her. Great episode today, Jeff. And here is the time. Oh, no.
One more thing.
Yeah.
I should say we have a Patreon. You can contribute to the Patreon. Go to patreon.com/itsthereal. We don't just do this for ourselves.
No.
We are putting out episodes right now for everybody just to get through this shit.
Yeah, I think that it's been a very healthy way for us to get some energy going.
Yeah. We call 3 people a day.
Yeah, I've woken up and I felt like dragging in the morning. By the time that I sit down and get on the phone with someone, it really does provide this uplifting feeling.
Yeah,
I think it's been nice for me, nice for you, and hopefully nice for everyone who's out there watching and listening.
And so, especially in times like these when there is no certainty of anything, if you're able to help us keep this thing going, we'd really appreciate it. Go to patreon.com/itsthereal.
That is the place where you can contribute, where you can get on board and help us keep going forward. Jeff, now is the time where we call Issa Rae.
Do it.
Issa!
What up?
Hello.
What's happening? How are you?
I am great. How are you?
We're doing all right. We're hanging in there. These are, quite different days. How are you getting through yours?
I am a routine-based person, so I have a routine that varies from day to day. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays are writing days, which I am so relieved to have because I have so many projects due. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays are all home, my business calls, meetings, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So speaking about your writing and any projects that are coming up, we're living now through this social distancing phase that, keeps getting extended and extended and extended. Do you think about the fact that movie sets or TV sets may not be as we experienced them before for the next like 6 or 8 months, and what a project looks like and feels like based off of that?
Well, I had not. That's another thing to have anxiety about.
Oh, no.
I have no idea. I mean, obviously they have to change in terms of the way that we interact with one another, and I'm sure that practices will be put in place to make sure that sets are very sanitary, which I think is never a bad thing. I also know that people are going to be forced to be creative. We already are being forced to think outside the box in a way to try to maintain a sense of normalcy, but I have no idea. I think that's the scariest part, is just we don't know what to expect. And I think a lot of people, I remember reading a Vanity Fair article about the way that the next decade was going to rapidly change, you know, technology wise. And nobody anticipated a pandemic. But I'm already seeing how, like, immediately in the first year of the start of this decade, so much is going to change. And so the 10s are going to look drastically different from the 20s already. And, you know, we were particularly excited to speak to you now because you're somebody who came up where, you know, maybe a TV network wasn't going to give you something coming straight out of college. And so what do? You pivot and you adapt and you use the circumstances you have and the people around you, and you make something out of you know, a situation maybe that wasn't ideal, and you use the tools that are around you. What do you think about being creative in a time now where, hey, your camera is your iPhone and you end up being the editor and the cinematographer?
Right, because you came out of the recession just like we did and started making shit on YouTube. And so, like, talk about, like, what your process is now as opposed to back then.
I think the challenge is the process for me then was so organic to who I was and who I was becoming. Like, I think technology and social media at that time was second nature to me. Like, it was a passion of mine and I was already on it. So it was just about figuring out how to make those tools productive for me, and that there was the fun. And I think right now you're almost forced to, and there's just a different energy around it. Like, everyone's scrambling to figure out how to create content for this quarantine and to get the most eyeballs necessary. And I think,
feel like everybody is very ready to have content up. Like, everybody's just like on Instagram Live, just throwing like spaghetti at the wall and hoping that it sticks. It's just like, whatever. Like, you know, I'm here, I have a camera, and I need attention because I don't have anybody else in my home. That's like sort of like the ethos of like right now.
And it shows. And, you know, there's a sense of desperation there. But like, good content needs to come organically. It needs to feel authentic. And I think that's the challenge, is just how do you tap into authenticity when you're scared?
For sure.
And you don't know what the future holds.
So who's the first person who said something to you that made you feel like you were on the right track when you were making Awkward Black Girl?
My best friend. I don't show my work to anybody. I barely talk about my work. And I kept this kind of close to my chest for a while. And when I finally shot it and showed, you know, I was editing it in my apartment, and we've been friends since 9th grade. And she's very, very blunt and honest in a way that will hurt anybody's feelings. And to see her laugh, you know, watching the cut and relate, like, she was, you know, super, super into it. And I was like, oh, you like it? She was like, girl, this is the shit. And so it was confident enough to at least upload it. And then, you know, after that, it was just the validation of so many other people identifying with the character.
Well, what's something that you brought to her attention, your best friend, that did not go well?
What did it? Don't get me wrong. She's extremely supportive, but she's seen me through a lot. Like, she'll just be quick to be like, that's not funny, whether it was a joke that I told or something that I was showing that I was thinking about doing. And, you know, I can't name anything specific, but there's a lot.
I get it. You're holding out for like the Vanity Fair interview. That's when you're going to drop the real gems.
Yeah. Issa, a lot of people love you for your musical choices week in, week out on Insecure. Are you listening to anything now that's new, or do you choose to go back into the catalog? Because streaming is really weird these days. You know, we've seen streaming numbers go down for new artists. A lot of people go back to comfort music, catalog music. Do you have anything that's been on repeat in your place?
On repeat, yeah. I mean, it's still a new artist, but I mean, Giveon is an album that I'm really bumping, but you know, my comfort music is still Jasmine Sullivan, Frank Ocean, Lucky Day, I'm still in a big music discovery mode because we're still placing, like I just placed the last song for the finale, so
wow,
I'm still very, very tapped in, and to me, new music and new creativity is comfort. I like to get a sense that other people are creating during this time. So,
Issa, also on this episode that we're putting out, we have Chika, one of the fastest rising stars in hip hop right now, but also she was hanging out with you like a week ago. So I was wondering, like, what brought you two together?
Chika is so fucking dope. I mean, we were just at the same party. Lena had a party, and I don't know if she saw me first or I saw her first, but you know, I remember she did this amazing Insecure rap back in the day, like this freestyle. I was like, this shit is fucking incredible. And we had never met because social media, you just see people's faces and you're like, oh, that's cool. And then you keep pushing. But then, we were at the same party and just got to chop it up, and I got to tell her how dope she is.
I noticed that on a wall in your place, because I don't know how many walls you have, but I'm guessing just one.
7.
I'm gonna get
you. I was
gonna say 4, but that's fine. Yeah.
But you have a picture that's inspired by Erykah Badu.
Oh yeah, the Better Call Tyrone. That was my friend who no longer speaks to me, but there was a stint where she was doing interior decoration, found painting, and I love it so much. She did not last with the painting.
Have you been receiving any texts or FaceTimes or any type of correspondence now in this time where everyone is looking for human connection that you did not expect? You don't have to like name them, but I'm curious as to whether
didn't expect or didn't want.
Yeah.
Definitely the latter, didn't want. I think there's this thing of just like, yes, I appreciate the connection. I appreciate that we're all going through this. But to your earlier point about people being like, there's nobody home, look at me, please, please, please. It feels like that. And it's like, if we didn't talk outside of this, there's no part of me that still like wants to connect with you right now. And I think the assumption that just because you're not busy doesn't mean I'm not busy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still not free at 2 p.m., but I'm still working the same hours, if not more. So that's kind of the irritating part for me.
But then do you respond to those things, or are you just like, like for me it's like Jewish guilt, like I can never let any text like go unanswered, even by people that I really should block. So like, are you responding?
Is that African American guilt then? I do. I still will respond. Sometimes, I will take longer to respond to certain messages just because I need to either let you down easy or let you know that you're bothering me. But what my sister does, I really want to put this into place, but I'm too scared to. But my little sister, a brave Sagittarius soul, keeps her read receipts on.
Oh my God, no.
I'm like, girl, why do you do that? And she was like, because when I read people's messages, I want them to know that they're bothering me.
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
And I just didn't respond. And I'm like, damn, that's some bold.
I feel like we need to get your sister on the podcast.
Yeah, wait, is your sister your best friend who's very truthful about everything?
Or is your sister the one who did the painting and you no longer speak?
Neither. She's actually she's blunt, but she cares about feelings more than my best friend does.
Well, actually, like, what's the most toxic behavior that one could pull in quarantine?
The most toxic behavior. I think selfishness. Anytime that you're selfish during this time, when people really need shit. Like, I think the hoarders are a very specific type of devilish people. And, I mean, there's just, and if you're inconsiderate during this time, you gotta go.
Yeah. What kind of essential worker have you thanked that you never thought you would like ever say thank you to? Because I walked past a crossing guard and just about thanked a crossing guard, and I was just like, "What? Sure, yeah."
Like, you don't have to do it in person,
sure.
but maybe, yeah.
No, you're right, and it makes you feel like an asshole. But I saw like a FedEx worker, and I was just like, "Yo, he wasn't even delivering it to my house."
Right.
I was just walking by, and I was like, "Yo, thank you so much." Like, and I wanted to tip him, but I thought, is that insulting? But whatever. Grocery store workers.
Yeah.
All these people.
Actually, at 2 a.m.
for granted.
Because in New York, like, everything is it's like a ghost town, and the only time that you can really like get away from people at the grocery stores is like at 2 a.m.
Oh yeah, because we have a 24-hour grocery store like a couple blocks from us.
Yeah, so I went there and I came back and I gave the head nod to a bus driver who gave me a head nod as well. But I was like, I cannot believe that I am like connecting with the bus driver at 2 a.m.
Right,
like,
you were not on the bus.
I know. See,
you were just walking by the bus.
Yeah, that's how grim things are over here, Issa.
Yeah.
Like.
But we really just take all that shit for granted, and I think it's making us hyper aware in a great way, I guess, but in a sad way.
Issa, you live in Los Angeles, where it can be a very isolated experience when it's not during quarantine. And, everyone's in their cars and everyone has to, it takes forever to get to the West Side. And it's just like appointments, you know? And unlike New York, where, you could just like
hit 3 events in a night and
pop up somewhere just as a surprise. You've lived in both cities. How do you feel the sort of separation being in Los Angeles right now?
Grateful. What the fuck?
Oh.
Y'all are going through it. Like, it's it feels obviously easier to social distance here, but it's also easier to feel like, outside of not being able to really go out and socialize, you almost wouldn't know that this is happening. Whereas in New York, I'm sure that it's gotta feel eerie out there, not constantly seeing people out and about. And I just think that it's on the social distancing side, I can almost convince myself like, oh, mom's just in Inglewood right now and I just haven't had time to see her.
Yeah, sure.
And outside of her coming to my house to deliver something 6 feet away and not being able to hug her, like stuff like that is just, this is kind of how we live anyway.
So about a decade ago, Cameron, we were hanging out with Dipset Heavy back then, and Cameron.
What?
I know.
Oh no,
we have a whole like life that you.
Yeah, you don't know. Yeah,
okay.
Clearly don't know.
Yeah.
So we were hanging out with Dipset, and Cameron started referring to our apartment as South Harlem.
We live on the Upper West Side,
and so we're like mere blocks away from the Whole Foods, and that's what we would call our place. Like for years, we were always like, oh yeah, we live in South Harlem. And so then a decade later, real estate people started calling it Soha, and we were like, we do not co-sign that.
Stop that. That's not
us.
No.
Now that has become a thing in your show. Well, not that, but like I would.
Yes.
And I wanted to know like about all of it, and I also wanted to clear things up because I know that a lot of people, like so many people out there,
there's so
were
many people
associating Soha with us.
No, not us.
Yeah, it's like too many people,
right.
And so yeah.
I was actually out there when that happened. I lived in Harlem, and I saw that popping up, when people were trying to lease apartments. And I was like, Soha, what the fuck? And that always stuck with me when I moved back to LA, just how they just tried to rebrand this specific neighborhood. And we talked about it in the writer's room just as a joke of like, if Inglewood is being gentrified, but what's the Soha? Like, what would they call it? And we came up with I Would and put it in a show as a joke. And now it's actually fucking being used.
That's so
Which
crazy.
is the worst. It's honestly
terrible.
the worst when people take a joke and make it into a serious thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I almost feel responsible. I'm like, oh no. this is our fault in some way. Like we made it seem like it was okay.
Well, that's African American guilt, which is like what we were just talking about. Maybe we do relate on that.
Yeah. Yep. That's it.
Do you find yourself FaceTiming your mom now, like even more than you might have before this whole thing?
Yeah, I never FaceTimed my mom before this. It was always just calls.
Is she good at FaceTiming?
She knows her angles.
Okay.
Yeah, she FaceTime with other people. Yeah.
Our mom has started to do angles, and I'm like, Mom, you really don't need to.
Yeah, like who are you trying to impress?
Yeah,
like who cares?
It's fine. It's fine.
Let her do it, because she can use it for the next person that she does need to impress.
You know what? Mom went crazy when she was like, wait, you can do it from your computer too? We're like, yeah. She was like, oh my God. She got super excited. It was great.
It's so much better on the computer.
Yeah.
Man, we're doing Zoom calls too, which I never thought.
Oh my God.
Oh, wait.
I'd be on it.
Like big Zoom calls?
Yeah, what's the biggest Zoom call you've been on?
The biggest Zoom call I was on had like 40 people, but not everybody put the video on.
Oh.
Do you put the video on?
Me.
Oh, you don't?
Not unless I have to.
We went to a friend's birthday party Zoom, right?
Yeah, we went in quotes.
Yeah. But that was kind of intense, because there's also 40 people in there and everyone's like sort of taking turns to talk, and I don't know. It's weird new social behavior.
It's not. I refuse to accept it. Like, or someone needs to make a better technology, because it is just video conference calls in the worst way, and we're talking about making our writers' room a Zoom or another technology that's not Zoom, but that same, whatever.
Yeah, I mean like a hang time or whatever. Yeah, house party or whatever.
I can't imagine that. So much of the writers' room is about like being able to talk freely and riff off of someone. So if you're constantly speaking over each other, and it's terrible.
Yeah, like all the rhythms sort of get like thrown off, because the lag. And so like it's the same thing with like how a conference call is not like hanging out with 40 of your friends. It's just like you're hanging out, but it's like your jokes don't land the way that you want them to.
Yeah.
They sure don't. Yes, speaking from experience. It's like that's also the frustrating part, where it's like, I know you were making a joke there and I didn't catch it, and now I'm sad.
Yeah, it almost feels like, how when they're reporters in like Iraq, and then it's like the 1, 2, 3 lag, and it's just like, yes, so I'm here in Baghdad, and
Yep.
Yeah.
Issa, I know when you started Insecure, it was not, the world that we live in now, but do you have any understanding of what normalcy comes with your show coming on every week? Because people can, count on that to sit down and make sure that they are watching that air live on HBO, rather than, just binge through it or check it out on YouTube. Yeah, but it's there for them.
It's something to look forward to.
That's a really nice way to look at it, because I do imagine that it's also, you're watching the world that doesn't exist right now. Like that you can't go to this LA restaurant, or you can't, walk down these same streets, and that's the saddest part to me. And I've seen people observe that, but you guys found the optimistic way in, and I like that better.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because like I was thinking about it when people were starting rumors about Puff and JD getting on the
Instagram
Versus,
battle,
and how it didn't happen. And I was like, well, it gives me something to look forward to then, because like if this is going to be the same sort of Groundhog Day thing, then it's like at least it didn't pass, and now I already like the Premiere and RZA thing, already passed.
Yeah, right.
Now it's like, well, what else do I have?
Right.
Now I have
true.
Now I have to talk to Issa, like that, and now this is happening.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry this happened. Now I have nothing to look forward to.
Groundhog Day is one of my favorite movies.
Oh, same. So we have another podcast that we do with the Locks.
Issa, we have a whole life.
Yeah, we have a whole life.
That's like,
I need to look this life up.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
And where we actually sit down with them and we review movies with them. And it's crazy, because we watched movies that you think that we would watch, but also movies like
Coco, or like You've Got Mail, or like, and it's like, meanwhile it's like Jadakiss and Styles and Chic talking about Meg Ryan and stuff. It's just like, it's bizarre.
But we did have them here to watch Groundhog Day. And, you know, we watched it for Groundhog Day, so February, right? And then this happens and Groundhog Day becomes like part of the like nomenclature once again.
Yeah.
And it's so fascinating to sort of like think through everyone's eyes from that movie, but also now. What is the thing that you like most look forward to every day, being that it is the same day?
My morning exercise walk, because of the podcast and the updates that I'm getting, it just feels like at least time is moving in that way. Whenever I'm like, oh, I'm listening to the news and getting more information and having the day ahead of me. There's still something that I love about that I didn't have before this happened, as dark as that sound. Like I never had like, I haven't had like, oh, I have the whole day to figure my shit out or to myself. I don't. Yeah. And that's obviously certain days of the week, but that keeps me going because at the end of the day, I'm a creative and I'm always going to turn to that to express myself, to find a sense of comfort. And that's what that is for me.
Also on the Groundhog Day tip, there's a character in the movie named Ned Ryerson. Ned Ryerson is the most annoying person in the world who keeps finding you. And so the question is, who is your personal Ned Ryerson?
That's such a fucked up question. I'm not answering that.
If it's the girl who you used to be friends with, who
it's not even her,
has something to do with that Erykah Badu painting.
No, mine is, I gave my number to a guy. I was at a concert. This guy came over. He was like, hey, my name is also Jeff. And then he based our entire, like, quote unquote friendship off of the fact that, like, we're both named Jeff. And he would start asking me about my family and stuff like that. And I was just like, I don't even know this dude. Like,
yeah. And by the way, when we told Styles that, he was just like, why in the world would you give anybody your number?
I'm like, I give my number to everybody. Yeah. The worst.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's hilarious. Those are the lamest people.
Yeah.
I will say I get really, really friendly when I'm drunk and give up my number as well, and always regret it the next day. Because I'm always in a collaborative, like, yeah, we should talk. No, we should get up. We should do that project. And so I have a lot of Ned Ryersons in my phone.
Well,
that's the best flex.
Yeah. Issa, we so appreciate you taking your time out of your Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, or what is today? Today's Tuesday. I don't know.
Tuesday.
I don't even know anymore.
Tuesday, Thursday.
I really don't know anymore. But listen, we're sending our love to you. Take care of yourself. Stay healthy. Stay indoors. Stay creative. Have fun with this, with this time. And we'll look forward to catching you, hopefully, when we can see each other in person in your city or ours. And in the meantime, be well.
I would love that. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Wait, listen to how drunk Issa is, like, trying to hang out.
Thanks, Issa.
Take care, guys.
All right, peace.
Bye.
Jeff, let's get on the phone now with Rico Nasty. Rico, what's happening?
Hi.
How are you?
Humans that I've never spoken to before. Oh my God, human contact. Hi guys, I miss you guys. I don't even know you guys.
No, listen,
you guys are having great days.
We are. We're friends with Kenny Beats, so we feel like we know you.
Yeah, we're almost family.
Oh, pretty much that. He's a little bitch.
Rico,
so we love him.
How are you doing in these crazy times?
I'm trying to figure out what is the main thing that I've been doing while I've been home besides sleep. I have learned how to cook.
Oh,
that's the best.
Congratulations.
So, being a mom, it was getting difficult. My son's getting older. The meals need to be meals. So I was just like, fuck it. I'm finally going to pick this shit up. So I've been doing that and watching a lot of TV.
Wait, before the TV stuff, I want to know, how are you learning to cook? Are you reading, like, recipes? Are you watching YouTube? Like,
no.
What's your...
I'm just...
Are you improvising?
So, okay. it's like 5 of us in this house. Like I live with my best friends. We all live together in a nice big house. Fairy tale, right?
Yeah.
So like every day we'll wake up and we'll just be like, what we want to eat today. A lot of us like pasta and lasagnas, mac and cheese, Alfredos and shit. So that was like the first task. It was like, okay, let's learn how to make the absolute best Alfredo pasta. Just
Smart.
We learned how to make this. We made Cajun Alfredo pasta the first night. We had the cheese. We was like, damn, if we removed the Cajun sauce and then just added more cheese and whipping cream, this would be like a bomb-ass cheese drizzle to put on some baked potatoes.
Oh, shit.
So
Wait,
that's what I'm saying.
were you right?
We just been getting freaky. I mean, it's a house full of stoners, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
So
by the
we
way,
just-
I get it. As soon as you were
we
like,
made,
yeah,
like,
we're
shrimp
experimenting with
stuffed
whatever we're
baked potato
making.
and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So we're just doing that.
okay, so you're learning to cook. You're also watching television. Have you been binging things on like Netflix or Hulu or Amazon or anything?
I have binge watched Snowfall,
Okay.
which is something I watched. I already seen it, but I love the show so much. So I watched it again. I binge watched Ozark
Yo.
because the new season came on, but it was gone for so long I almost forgot what the fuck happened. So I rewatched the last 2 seasons, and then now I just watched the newest one.
Oh, my God.
You finished it, right?
Yeah, the ending.
I finished it. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. I don't want to be a spoiler, but that last episode really left me like, wait, what?
No,
Yeah.
it was
Like-
crazy.
This bitch was ready to snake them out, and it was just damn, like her brother. Yeah, it was a lot. I love that fucking show.
Wait, who
But,
do you identify with in Ozark?
Oh my god, I don't want to like reveal my creative. I feel like I identify with the brother.
You
Oh.
identify with the brother.
Yeah, bro. Like, okay, when you think about it, he walked himself into a crazy situation that he didn't know how crazy it was. Like when he was going to spaz on that lady, like, bro, he didn't think that it was as serious as it was. Like, he didn't know how, like, niggas is already dead. It's a plethora of people that have died trying to get in the middle of this shit, bro. Like, he didn't know none of that. His sister was a fucking liar. And I just identify with it because I just feel like a lot of time that shit be happening to me. Like, I just walk into a fucking mess.
Yeah,
Yo.
and then you're
And
making
I'm just
lasagna
like-
for 5 people.
Rico,
Exactly. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on in here?
did
How do I?
any part of you think that maybe he was not dead? Because they don't show the killing, and they don't show exactly his face or body or anything when they go to cremate it. Is it possible that maybe he's still alive?
No. They sent the hitter on that nigga. Like they sent the hitter. That's another thing too. Like let's get into it. That's a real reason why I love Ozark so much, because I honestly feel like it's a lot of foreshadowing where they don't have to answer questions, but they still get answered. Like when, like that guy had killed multiple people before him. Like, I mean,
Yes.
come on now. And he was alive after this shit happened. So it's just like, damn, like we know what happened and it sucks. It's fucking crazy because that was her brother and she knew he was crazy, but I just felt like he wasn't even that crazy until crazy shit started happening.
Well, until he wanted to have
He's
sex.
That's right.
His
It's
little 30-second sex.
this show has all these Christian morals.
Yeah.
Rico, you're living in a house with a ton of people. How do you guys, since everyone is supposed to be like quarantined and staying at home, how do you get your freedom within those 4 walls?
All right, so I feel like I have a pretty big bedroom, so I just be in my room some of the time. I ain't about to cap to y'all. Like, we be not social distancing, but we just don't go nowhere.
But you don't
So
have to
that's what we
social distance with
sacrifice.
people in your house.
No, but it's more than that though. Like if one of us was still working and still going outside,
Oh.
then we would have to social distance.
Right.
But none of us are working. None of us do shit. But give me cool ideas and fucking help me with shit. So I guess we don't have to go anywhere. And if somebody has to go out, we like tic-tac-toe it or whatever. What's that shit called? Not rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors. Yeah.
Rochambeau.
Yeah, and we Lysol they ass down, and we get it popping. But my best friend, she lives in the basement, and my other best friend, he lives like across the hall. So It's like really
that works out.
We're not cooped up against one another, but it's just been fun. Like, bro, we've known each other all through high school. Like, I met my best friends when I was like in the 9th grade, so it's like we finally playing board games again, and like just listening to old music that we used to listen to in high school and shit. Like,
that's dope.
Looking
That's
at old
dope.
Pictures. Like, bro, it's crazy. Like, looking at pictures from fucking 2015, 2013. Like, that's how long I've known these people. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, just watching that shit. And I feel like that's what has started up the creative aspect. Like, the whole aspect of, like, we was looking at all these old pictures and looking at how we used to just do shit. Like, we would just do it. Like, we was broke as fuck. We didn't have no money. Our parents was not giving us no money. But we was like, oh, let's have a cookout. We would just do it. Like, we would just do that shit. We would make do. So they were like, let's go to green screen. We all came to the agreement. And then we did. And then I hit up one of my favorite directors, Jason. And I was like, I want to shoot a video on my house. And then that came about.
Wait, which director? Jason
Joyride. And he just did Popstar Rockstar.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
And so your green screen process is what exactly now? Do you set up like your iPhone?
No, I have a camera
that
I was like using for like vlogs and shit on tour. See, that's the thing. I've been in the house. So it's like, bro, this is real shit, bro. I hope I'm not talking too much, but I haven't spoke to people in a while, and I just want to let y'all know this shit because it's crazy. As a rapper, I've literally been on the road since my shit went great. I've been on the road, never been home. So you constantly buy shit when you're gone, and you're like, yeah, I'll use this when I get home. Yeah, this is totally fine. Totally, yeah, I want that. Fine. That's so cool. It's shiny. I want it. You get home, and you're unpacking, and you don't give a fuck about that shit because you have the next trip. You have a whole nother show. You have a whole other state, whole other mall, whole other fucking everything.
Hotel to stay in, yeah.
Exactly. Bags on bags on bags of shit that you never get to use, but you bought it. So I found a camera. I found my GoPro from when I went to Dubai. I thought I lost it. I found it. Like, we just finding shit and using it. Like, so we found our camera. We have a Sony camera. And then we got like one of our friends to come over. He shoots like, regular videos just so he was there to get the gist of it because I don't shoot videos.
Well, now you do. Now you do.
Yeah, now I do. I learned a lot that day. The shoot was like, we started at like 9 o'clock. It was over at 5 o'clock in the morning. We were just like sitting there making sure everything was right. And yeah, Popstar came about. And then it was crazy because even before we did that, like 2 days before, we went to the studio because in the beginning we were able to go to the studio and do shit, and then the studio closed down. So thank God I was able to make that fucking song.
Yeah, I mean, like, are you, talking about touring and how much of a part of it, how much part of your life that is? Like, what do you think about the future? Have you even like thought that far ahead of like what life is going to be like 6 months from now, a year from now?
I have started to think about it. Honestly, it's pretty grim.
Yeah,
it's pretty grim because I don't even know how to describe it. It's like, we look at the shows. I can't speak for everybody. I know if you look at any of my interviews, I talk about the shows like fucking free amusement park in that bitch. Like, we just have so much fun. So it really sucks that I can't be around my fans. Like, the money part is very, very, very fucked.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
But the actual, like, the reason why I do this shit is because my fans, and I miss my fans, and I want to see them. I want to know what the fuck they're going through.
Well, so let me ask you this then. How do you maintain that relationship? Is it through an Instagram Live? Is it to, read their comments on Twitter or wherever?
It's awkward for me because I feel like before the quarantine happened, I kind of social distanced on social media.
Yeah.
Like, I stopped getting on for like a month. And then Corona happened, and next thing I know, my manager is like, babe, you should get back on Instagram because we're going to be in the house for a really long time. And I get on Instagram, and everyone is already entertained with what the fuck they're entertained with. So if you're like me and you weren't like on your fans like ass, like, hey guys, what's up?
Right.
Then it's just like, you just continue to be yourself. You just continue, like, your fans are not going to forget about you. They're just entertained with other shit right now, but who knows how long this will last. And it's just weird. Like, I don't know how to, I don't know. It's different. It's
but
very,
I think it's fair
different.
that you're just like, listen, I'm not going to change up my behavior just to, you know, fit the times. Like, I think that's a very fair thing to say.
But I love, I love the Instagram live. I love, like, how, first of all, I'm a fucking weirdo. Like, not a lot of people ever fucking talk to me. And one thing I can say about Instagram live is, like, there's been so many people on my live that don't even fucking talk to me. They just be on my live. And I'm like, what are you doing over here on this side of town? Hello. You know, so that is amazing. It gives artists a chance to at least be cordial with one another. Like, okay, I might not have seen you at a festival, but I popped in your live. I feel like that's personal. Like, bitch, why you on here? You know what I'm saying? Like, why did you click on my live if you would, you know what I'm saying? You commenting and shit. You fuck with me. It's cool. This is technically us talking.
Yes.
So it's cool for people who don't, you know, they go out and they don't talk to people.
What is it like to be parenting 24/7 right now?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. For me, it's really fun because my son is, like, at that age where he's 4, so he doesn't really want a lot. Right now, he's eating ice cream. We're watching PJ Masks. You got sprinkles on that? You fancy. But when the shit started, it was like my mom was, like, telling me, you know, daycare is gonna close. So I just took it upon myself. I had seen a lot of shit on Twitter, like, people was making learning boards for their kids. And so I did that. I made one for him, and it was cool. Like, he used it for a little while, and then he told me to my face that he misses his teacher.
No.
And he was just like, Mom, you're a little bit not fun of a teacher. You're a little bit too forward. He told me, he said, you're a little bit too forward. You just want me to do it. And I just...
Yo, how do you take that criticism?
I just asked him what he likes to do. I asked him what he likes to do, what he was learning at school. And he told me that they would read a lot. And he told me about this thing called Go Noodle. I don't think he was watching that at school. I think my mom put it on for him, like, in the mornings. Because it's, like, dancing, and it helps kids with, like, memory and stuff.
I used to watch Go Noodle on the Spice Channel.
What the fuck? So, yeah, he watches Go Noodle.
That was a very different Go Noodle.
Every morning. He eats his breakfast. We do a lot of tracing worksheets and, like, to practice his handwriting because he's left-handed. And that was one thing I remember the teacher, like, telling me off the break, like, you're going to have to help with this because he's fucking left-handed.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, my baby's different. Okay, but my mom is left-handed. So she was helping him. So now that he's with me, it's like, okay, I'm right-handed. This is difficult. But we're doing it. He's learning how to hold the pen correctly.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're not, like, teaching him how to, like, shoot bow and arrow. You know, like...
Yeah, no. That's the thing, too. Like, so many people were, like, telling me, like, at first, like, oh, my God, your baby's left-handed. Like, that's going to be so hard. And then when he got to school and he was just doing this shit like everybody else, I'm like, I don't think it's going to be hard. The hard thing is, it's kind of like chopsticks. Like, initially, your baby is going to hold the pen or pencil, crayon a certain way.
Yeah.
They just try to control it that way. You have to show them. If they were right-handed, you wouldn't have to show them how to do it. And it's weird as fuck.
I bet. Are there things that you see in your son right now where you're just like, oh, shit, that's me?
Oh, my God, yeah. I mean, I feel like everyone who's ever met my son says that he's literally my twin. So we just have our moments in here, goofing off, joking around. He's one of those kids that, like, he gets serious real fast. And I feel like I was like that, too. I posted a video of him yesterday, like, leave me alone. But he was just messing with me. So those are always the vibes. But other than that, a lot of reading. He likes Eric Carle books, which every kid does.
Everybody does.
But
Hungry Caterpillar, all that.
Firefly is the best one.
Oh, well, that's like a very hot take. Feel like you're gonna be.
That is the best one. Did you get to the? You gotta get to the end of the book.
Oh yeah, I stopped halfway through because I don't like it when the bad guy dies.
Yeah. Wait, does the lady die at the end of the book?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the bad. Oh damn. Okay, you just got real deep. No. The ending has like lights and shit. So when you read it to your kid at nighttime, I feel like the lights, they'd be like, "Oh my God, let's read another book."
Rico, if you want to escape, like, you know, and get out of the house, where do you head?
by bathrobe.
Oh.
That's weird as fuck. I don't know. I feel like if we did a survey, 90% of people would say that they do that. They're like, I don't know, when you get sad or you want to be alone, you just go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But you said out of the house. I don't want to go out of the house. It's cold where I am.
Where are you?
Outside. I'm in Maryland.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Do you watch the news? Do you follow, like, what's going on social media? How much intake do you have and allow yourself? Because for me, I was like, there was a certain point where I was like, I can't read the news in the morning. I can't watch, any of the press conferences. It had this heavy effect on my body.
I'm not even gonna hold you. I watched the news, right? I watched the news when this shit was happening. And I seen a fucking commercial. And like, okay, I don't even want to talk about this. I don't even feel like I'm I don't know. I'm gonna talk about it because I don't give a fuck. And that's just how I am.
Mm-hmm.
There was a fucking commercial with like Ronald Reagan, like Ronald Reagan wasn't afraid to burn in hell or some crazy ass like pro-atheist commercial or something like that. And it kind of like all this bad shit was happening in the world, and for the news to cut directly to that commercial, they're obviously paying the most money for ads, but it's like, it scared me. Like that feeling in your body you talking about, I know exactly what you're talking about. It made my fucking heart go to my stomach because I'm just like, I don't know, like as an artist, you might get a fucking superhero complex. You might feel like you can fix a lot of shit and I can donate a shit ton of money, everything feel better. And I feel like coronavirus kind of just made it feel like you just don't. I didn't realize how much the government is just shit. And it's just weird, and it was just too much. Like I was sitting there watching that shit with my son. He's like in the background playing with his toys, and I'm looking at him like, what the fuck is about to happen?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What is going on right now? And I don't want to, relay that paranoia with anybody else because that shit just makes you look crazy. Because if the shit is fine in a couple months, you can't unsay that shit. But it is scary. Like the reality of things is that they're not being honest with us. And even if they are being honest with us, that's fucking scary.
Yeah.
Like the numbers they putting out are scary.
Yeah, I was saying to somebody this morning that it just feels like there's no next step. Like that for the next year and a half, it's just this. And so I'm waiting for something to feel like progress. Like it's not even like it feels dark all the time, which it does, but it's just that there's no answers.
Yeah, I think there's a million problems here, starting with the federal response to this whole thing. There's no testing. There's no
definitely no answers.
There's no answers.
No testing, no answers.
And there's no leadership.
No true. Exactly. Yeah. No true leadership. And I feel like it's scary to you talk about the government, you talk about all the shit that they could possibly be doing or what they are doing and how they're not prepared for this. But another thing that is scary is humans. Us.
Yeah.
Like us in our state of mind right now. And individually, all of us, what do? We overbuy, we overdo every fucking thing. And now that's why the paranoia has set in. And that's why it's really fun because it's like they didn't tell us that this was going to be like this when they initially said, okay, let's quarantine everybody. So people are now going to the stores. Like this is why I told everybody we're going to have to rock, paper, scissors, go to the stores. Because I went to the store. Last time I went to the grocery store, it was a woman. I don't know where you guys are, but in a lot of the grocery stores, if it's open and if they let you go inside, they have lines letting you know where you should stand.
Yeah.
So this woman, she was an older woman, like, about 60 or 70. She didn't want to stand there. And people was telling her to move, and she wouldn't move. And it was such a weird-ass time, because, like, at the time, they had sent out, like, okay, we are now quarantining everybody. It was, like, the little alert on the phone.
Yeah.
And we were out. Like, we was at the grocery store, and everybody's phone started getting that fucking alert. Bitch, it felt like the end of the world.
Yeah.
Scary as shit. And I hope somebody can attest to this. Like, if you was out in a public place when they sent out that, like, Amber Alert
oh
type
my
of
God.
sound, everybody's phone was going off. Everybody was looking at their phone. Everybody's call was dropping. And then we get to the line, and this lady was acting like that. I left. Just left. I didn't even want this shit. I didn't even want nothing no more. I was like, yo, people are out here not following the rules. They don't give a fuck.
Yep.
They not about to give a fuck. Like, you think all these people about to do what I'm doing and just leave and go home now?
Nope.
No. They about to get their shit. And being here with people who won't follow the rules, it's just too much.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Rico, your project with Kenny, Anger Management, I think really struck a chord with people because of the journey that it took. I think you get like a full range of things in that project, and people really appreciated that and saw themselves in it. Do you feel now as an artist that you have to speak with some sort of, not authority, but some sort of take on the times that we're living in now? And do you feel like you have a grasp of anything or not have a grasp of anything, and that will create art in itself?
I feel like the fact of the matter is, if you have a voice, use it. So I definitely feel obligated to say something, because I feel like why else would I be in this position? Why else would I have so many motherfuckers listening to everything that I say if I can't just say something relating to the times? You know what I'm saying? Like, just let them know, like, this is what y'all should be trying to do, or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
or this is how I'm feeling, and maybe you do too.
Yeah, or this is how I'm feeling. But at the end of the day, it's like, we can't forget what the internet is. You can't forget. People don't give a flying fuck. Doodle, they don't give a fuck. They don't care about nothing. And it's scary that it's like that. Like, they don't give a fuck if you're telling people to wash their hands. You're still gonna get the bots talking about their nudes. Ain't nobody gonna respect that shit. Like, all you can do is literally just set an example. Just set an example. Just let motherfuckers know, like, I'm washing my hands. That's the point of being a rapper. You lead and they follow. So,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So just do some shit, and they're gonna be like, oh, that's what you're doing? That's what I'm gonna do. Like, that's it. So wash your fucking hands.
Talk about it. Rico.
And don't go nowhere. Like, please, like, can you put this in caps? All caps.
Yes.
Please stop going out, y'all. Please stop going out. I know y'all got food in there, and if y'all don't, I know y'all used to be broke. I know y'all can make a meal out of that shit. Stop acting like that, please, so this shit can be over, because y'all niggas is not listening, and I know you bored.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I know you're bored, but you know what? This is a great time to promote House Party. Shout out House Party for keeping niggas busy. If you ain't got it, download that shit right now. #1 spokesperson sponsor for House Party, nigga. Get on it if you ain't got it. And yeah, wash your fucking hands.
Yeah, I mean, like, not that this is, like, actually possible, but the CDC did say that, like, if people stayed in their place for 2 weeks, then the virus would die. And it's just like...
Well, I guess I have no chance of getting that motherfucker. I had the house. Shit. But that's amazing to hear.
Rico, you're living in a house with 4 other people. 4 other people. Who is the best roommate and who's the worst roommate?
Let me go tell it to that face.
Yo, don't give him any explanation though. Don't tell him who you're on the phone with.
I was just asked who is the best roommate and who is the worst roommate. Billy, you're the best roommate, Billy. I love you, Billy. And Kel, you're the best roommate. Cam, you're the worst roommate. You never clean up after yourself. You never do anything in here, Cameron. Cam is the worst roommate. Cam, he doesn't do nothing.
Yo, Rico, were any of the people who were good or bad your son?
Nah, everyone's, Cam is just bad. Like, Cam, you know what he likes to do? He has like these bins of toys, so go in his room and take the bins of toys and slide them into my room and just dump the fucking bin out. And it just be toys. And he's like, please, why are you doing this to me? And then the costumes right now, oh my God, I have this video of him. Last night, we put all the costumes out, laid them out, and he rolled over them. I thought he was going to put them on. He rolled over them. Like, it was really funny. I was like, what are you doing, babe?
Yo, I fuck with him so hard.
I know, yeah. He's the real hero here.
Yeah.
Yo, Rico, listen, we're sending all of our love to you. Stay inside, stay healthy, and stay safe. And hopefully down the road we will be able to connect in person.
Yeah, and thank you for being our Go Noodle.
There you go.
Aw, thank you, guys.
Jeff, let's get on the phone with Chika. Chika, what's happening?
What up?
Nothing much. We chilling out here.
Listen, it's a really exciting time, I think, for your music right now. We've seen your Tiny Desk, which was amazing. We've heard your music. It's an exceptional time for Chika the artist. How is Chika the human being doing right now during these insane times?
She's tired. I'm ready for sunlight, to get outside and to feel warmth again and to hug my loved ones. I'm just, holding up pretty, I guess, well for the most part, but I'm over this. We can go outside, please.
Yeah. Well, when was the last time you actually were outside?
I guess technically like 30 minutes ago.
Oh.
I just went to get some plants. I need, they say surround yourself with life and things like that. So I just I already have like house plants and things, and having them around makes me feel real mother-like or whatever. So yeah, I just went to.
Have you ever been a pet person?
Yeah, I have a puppy.
Oh, okay. And the puppy is not enough.
Nah. She's a demon. She's in her crate right now. She was actually just barking at me a second ago because she got in trouble, so now she's in timeout. But I literally been here with my pet, and she's a lot at this time. I think all the animals are tired of their parents being home, so they are wilding out. And so I got house plants because they're like pets that don't defy you.
Yeah. One of my favorite things that you've posted maybe ever just happened. You said that you missed a FaceTime with the rest of your family where they were trying on masks that they made.
They did. I don't even know if they made them all. Like, I know that my cousins made theirs, but my sister's a doctor, so she definitely has that N95 mask on.
But your father created like a monstrosity of a mask.
Yeah, a monstrosity is the right word. It's the right word.
It was like a Ziploc bag. It was ski goggles. It was just like everything.
Wait, doesn't he get sort of credit for effort here?
Oh, no, I love it.
I think that, honestly, we're giving him less credit than he deserves because the actual mask itself is an N95 mask that he also finessed from my sister. But these goggles, this Kangol hat, and this Ziploc bag was an abomination.
Wait, actually, you want to know what? I feel like the Kangol hat might save you from a bunch of things.
I think that the forces underneath that hat, there's something to be said about it. But for sure, I'm letting you know that the plastic bag is what took me out. Hey, I'm not sure what that was going to protect you from.
I want to give your dad all the credit here. It's not your father's not a fashion designer by trade, is he?
No, but he clearly is one by hobby.
Okay, so given everything that's happening, how has your life changed since you've been inside the four walls that you've been in for the last? I don't even know how long it's been.
It's been forever, is what it feels like. But I mean, yeah. I think that my life kind of it's not staying the same for the most part, but over the past few years, like, it's definitely slowly progressed and it's made more sense. I think I've had a lot of moments where like my stuff will blow up and then I'll have like hella acclaim, but like my life itself stays the same. So it's felt disproportionate in ways. But it's kind of like the universe kind of gave me a little middle finger / like big sister punch in the back of the head, because now it's like, oh, my music's out and your life makes sense and you live in a place you like and you can't go outside. Like, you can't go and get any of that love and affection and congrats from this like project I just worked on for a year. But other than that, like, life itself it's been fine, and it's been one of those things that's a slow journey of like understanding what I'm supposed to be doing and shit like that. So I mean, I'm good.
But how do you understand how your project's being received? Do you have to then like fully rely on social media and people who are reaching out to you to say like, hey, this project means this to me?
Literally, yes. Like, that's the only thing we can do right now. And of course, my friends / managers, like, they will send me. We're all in this together. Like, we all want the same thing. So everyone will send like things that they peep to the group message, like, oh, this is charting, or like, oh, this is doing this now, or like, you just hit this. Like, it's more so a family thing where we like text each other, even though we're like all not together currently.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh shit, this is music that we've been hearing for months. So for everyone else to be receiving it the right way, especially the Tiny Desk, like, I liked it, like, I had a good time, but I didn't know that it would be received as well as it was. And I'm a huge Tiny Desk fan, so for mine to be even in the conversation of some of the best ones, I'm like, yo, thanks so much.
No, it is spectacular to watch, to listen to feel. Do you look back at it now and think, oh, like they're standing too close together, or that person touched their face, or like anything that like is the world that we live in now?
Nah, it feels perfect to me. It's like they some little insider information is that they tell you, if you fuck up and you really, really can't stand it, they'll let you like pick a song to retape. And when we first finished it, I was like, is everyone good? Like, I think this is good. And then there was a conversation about like, oh, well, maybe we should redo Songs About You, because the tempo was a little bit faster than it is on my EP.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, we decided not to. Like, I think it sounds fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I fuck with the energy of just like being fine with things that you do once. You know, like you did it, and it's just like, I don't need to do it again.
One and done.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so we ended up not stressing ourselves out like that and redoing it. And so when I watch it back, knowing that it was an intentional decision to leave it as is, and like we didn't get to watch it like beforehand, when like I saw it the day it came out. Like I saw it when it was posted to NPR. So like it feels like I got to grow to love it as much as everyone else did, which is a really unique feeling when you have been hearing your songs for months and nobody else has.
Yeah. That is such a tiny space. Is it at all like movable? Like if you brought like 15 more people, could they all like fit?
I've seen was it Lucky Day who brought in a whole like orchestra type feel thing to it, like, and they had to spread out the camera, like I guess just the camera angle they kind of had to play around with, and people weren't standing necessarily behind the desk anymore. Mm-hmm. But I would venture against that. I would not do that. It's not ridiculously small. I guess behind the desk is, but the space itself isn't. So like I don't know. I wouldn't do anything extra. I wouldn't be that like fucking extra in that space, especially like it's tiny enough that I wouldn't want to play around too much and bring more people.
We have a lot of friends who have actually performed on Tiny Desk. What was your stress level before actually stepping foot onto that tiny stage?
I won't think I was stressed at all. I was really excited.
That's awesome.
I was really happy. Yeah, I was like really happy to be there. I was just, living the moment, because I'm a Tiny Desk fan, and like this felt like it felt like a lot of the things I've done in the past few years, it felt like a finesse. Like I shouldn't be there. As you hear with me talking about the Roc Nation Brunch, like I fully be feeling like I don't deserve to be places. But in that moment, it was like one of those opportunities where like, regardless of how I felt deserving wise, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna make sure I do the fuck out of this. Like I really want to have a good time with this, and you get to do it once. Like let's have a fucking ball. And then my sister was there, and like everyone brought their family, like all of my bandmates and like my choir, like everyone had family and loved ones there, so it really felt great. Like I wasn't nervous at all. I was like being a head ass before and like recording things and like hopping around. I just had a really good time with it.
We were talking to Jessie Reyes about the Roc Nation Brunch, and she got very dressed up for it, and a lot of people were doing like pastels and like following the guidelines of how you should be dressed for the Roc Nation Brunch. And we were like, yo, how do you feel when Chance the Rapper shows up not abiding by any of the rules?
Yeah, like in a t-shirt.
In a t-shirt.
And a hat. We're just like, come on.
Yeah, no, I feel like in situations like that, there's two things. There's two schools of thought here. Because I personally didn't know I was going to the Roc Nation Brunch till like the day before I went.
Really?
So there was no there was no flex period of like, what am I gonna wear? I came in like a fucking sweater and like some like boots, and like it was nice, but I wasn't out here like everybody else. I wasn't trying to do all that. But I feel like in those moments, although there is I guess a dress code, it's not the Met. Like come as you are, like
so if your dad showed up in the Kangol Ziploc bag, N95 mask,
that's him. That's
yeah.
Like, who am I to judge? Who are we to judge? Let's say it like that.
Yeah, and by the way, same, because like my brother and I here have definitely been invited to parties where it's like, yo, it's my birthday, you have to be dressed up in a onesie, and we pull up in like jeans and a t-shirt. So like, yeah, I get that as well.
We've also gone to black tie events and been like very dressed up and been the only people dressed up. So
which is the worst feeling.
That is
because we looked like an accountant and a lawyer.
That's worse than oversleeping.
Real bummer.
Like coming overdressed is worse than like snoozing your alarm and waking up 6 hours later.
I know.
Because everyone else is comfortable and you're just like, wow, I'm really in here in a sombrero. Like nobody told me that they weren't going to be doing this. But I feel like in the situations like that, just do what you want. Like you're already uncomfortable because you're around billionaires. Like wear what you want. Wear what you want.
Yeah, like did you have that attitude of just like, well, if I'm going to be here, then I might as well just talk to anybody, or were you more just like I'm going to play
No.
You say, oh, hell no?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, the reason I even met Jay-Z and Diddy was because when we got to the brunch, I walked in with my my manager at the time. She's still a manager, but I have multiple managers now.
Yeah.
It's whatever, no big deal.
Light flex, that's fine.
Yeah.
Slight flex. No, I mean, we all work together, but still.
Yeah.
I walked in with her.
We all wear masks. It's fine, yeah.
Exactly. You get the vibe. You get my vibe. But I saw everyone and I was like, oh no, I can't be in this room by myself. I can't. There's too many people here that I recognize that I grew up listening to or watching. I can't be in this room. So I literally exited to the hallway / corridor thing. You know, I don't fucking know how to describe it. Jay-Z's house, like whatever. But I like go into like where we came in from, basically that long hallway with people holding like champagne bottles and things. Like the girls just like holding glasses as you enter, thinking that nobody would be out there because she was about to go grab her other client at the time, Miguel. Shout out to Miguel. Anyway, but she was gonna go grab Miguel and Nas, like because they were just arriving, and so I was like, okay, cool. I'll like stay with you guys because I know y'all. But like as soon as I walked in the hallway, like at the door, it was Jay-Z and Diddy entering, and I was like, are you kidding me? Are you joking? Like I was not that person trying to talk to everybody. I was not. I wasn't trying to see anyone. I wasn't trying to be in contact with anyone. And then fucking as soon as I get out of that room where I feel anxious, Jay-Z and Diddy are arriving. And not only that, I try not to make eye contact, but Diddy goes, yo! I'm like, oh my God. Like, what? Could I have one break? Like, please, Lord, please. I can't do this.
And what was that conversation ultimately like?
Exactly what it sounds like. Like it was literally like a, oh shit. Like he goes, yo! I'm like, oh, yo. Like, the weakest voice ever, and he goes, Hove, and then Jay-Z like spins on his heel, turns around, is like, what's up? And he's like, do you know who this is? And I'm like, first of all, don't ever ask Jay-Z if he knows who I am. That's a little OD. But he's like, no, like, who is she? And he's like, no, her name's Chika. She's like one of the dopest, like best of the new school. I shit you not, nothing but bars. Like completely starts being just so kind and fucking flexing and telling me that I was dope and all this shit. And then like Jay-Z grabs my hand and shakes it and it's just like, well, I'm so glad to have you here. Like, thank you for coming. Like, you must
have just been like floating for like months afterwards.
I really didn't want to think about that interaction for the longest time because once it's real, it starts to like fade away in your memory. But if you really like hold on to something like that, it sticks in the same way that it felt the moment they said it. So like it was kind of a huge moment that I needed to immortalize on a song. And
yeah, I was going to ask like what the thinking process was, because like if you're, I was wondering if you would like hold on to that like and make it a personal thing, but then you put it out in a song.
Yeah, because like how can you not like?
Oh no, I get it. I completely understand.
So much of my like I guess story has been so private, like, and it looks like it hasn't been because I'm an internet. Like I've done all my stuff on the internet for the longest time, but like in terms of the stories, I even mentioned that on Balenci's. I'm like, so many stories my friends don't even listen. I don't really get an opportunity to like talk about the wild shit that like changed my life, you know what I mean? Like I don't get to really live in those moments and be like, yo, this is incredible, guess what just happened to me? And so when that happened to me and like I knew that I wouldn't be able to talk about a lot of things going forward because they were happening so rapidly, I was like, the only way I know I'm going to remember this and to like immortalize it and make it feel as big as it was, because there's so much big shit that's happened that I've forgotten. I was like, I have to put it on the song. I have to, because otherwise that would have just been another remarkable story that kind of fades in the back of my mind. That like there's so much good shit that's happened to me recently that it just would have been another good thing, but I had to make it feel like one thing that will never die, and it's on my first project now. So
amazing.
It's fucking dope.
Yeah.
You are from Alabama. Alabama has been one of the few states that I believe is not under lockdown. So I was wondering, like, what is your relationship like with your home state? And, like, do you know people who are still being active? Like, tell me your thoughts about what's going on in Alabama right now.
Well, my parents are still in Alabama. That photo we saw of my dad was from him in Alabama. So they're having a great time, clearly. But no, like, I think that because KIV doesn't do many things right, ever. And that's the governor. She does many things wrong, actually. Yeah. But the one thing that they did do in Alabama was they shut down a lot of things once they had their first few cases of corona. They shut everything down. Like, my mom and my dad both, my dad's retired now, but my mom worked for the state, and so they were literally at home for, I think, like a month or so, or a few weeks at least, and then I think they just went back recently. And the cases that they had, like, from my hometown is Montgomery, there's like 3 cases for the past 3 weeks. Like, nobody's getting it. Like, they really had it under wraps. So I don't know what that's about. Maybe there's something about evil that avoids coronavirus, because Donald Trump is still here and kicking, and I don't know what that's about, but yeah, I think that they kind of figured this shit out. In terms of everything else surrounding my state, like, and how I feel about Alabama, it's just kind of one of those things, like, you take the good with the bad. There's a lot of things that going forward as, like, a young adult and as a, in my older life, I want to do for the state of Alabama. It sounds like I'm running for governor, but no, just in terms
or you're
of, like,
trying to get on, like, sorry.
No, you're good. But we didn't have, like, performance venues and things like that. Like, I did all my shit on the internet because of things like not having a place to perform and not feeling like I had any ownership to the ground I walked on, because everything in Alabama is old money, it's white money, it's different. Yeah. But I think that moving forward, the youth there has a lot to say, and I think we're going to change a little bit of what the face of Alabama looks like. But, I'm super okay with, like, where I'm from. It's one of those things that you're like, oh, yeah, I'm unfortunately from Alabama, but if I wasn't from there.
Well, I didn't even mean like that, by the way, but yeah.
Chika.
Oh, no, I mean it like that. I'm letting you know that is my stance. Yeah. Anytime anyone asks me, I'm like, that's the thing. I didn't ask for it. It's an affliction no one can really control. But,
Chika, for somebody who's done so much on her own, who's built something up from the mud, who's really, like, created a movement, does it ever strike you, in a moment where you're just sitting there and you're like, wow, mainstream has accepted what I might have thought was not, in the center. Like I'm going to the Roc Nation Brunch. I'm signed to Warner Records. I'm on NPR.
Yeah, like, all these people are in my comments on Instagram.
Yeah, like, it's you've become mainstream. What do you think about that in a moment where you're just, like, pausing and free?
It feels good, but for me, like, I never doubted that would happen. Like, I've always had a clear view of what I wanted to do and, like, who I thought I could be, and it wasn't until, like, I voiced that and heard other people be like, oh, nah, that's not what the world wants, that I was like, huh? Like, it wasn't instilled in me that I would fail. Once I began to try it, I saw the glass ceiling type shit come out, and I was like, oh, okay, this is what it's meant by, like, people like you don't succeed X, Y, and Z. Like, but it was never something that I believed or internalized. It was kind of like, it made me buckle down and feel like I needed to prove something. And so that's why I never stopped. So to be accepted and, like, to be, I guess, considered mainstream at this point, like, I still feel like I have a ways to go, but you're absolutely right. Like, the conversation's there now, and that's a blessing in and of itself. It feels good. It feels really good. It feels like if I can make it through, like, the toughest part, which is laying the groundwork and being taken seriously, like, this is a journey that's only on an upward trajectory, and that's something I can only be grateful for, because not very many people get that opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, listen, shout out to you for everything that you've done to this point, especially just being yourself. I think that is the best thing that anyone could do in this day and age. And shout out to you for your NPR performance. Shout out to you for your EP, and shout out to you for making it through this with a positive attitude, because that's a huge part of this whole thing right now, moment by moment, day by day. Chika, we send our love out to you. Stay safe, stay indoors, and stay creative. And hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you for your time.
No doubt. Of course. Take care.
Have a great one.
Shout out to Chika, shout out to Rico Nasty, and shout out to the one and only Issa Rae. Jeff, are we back tomorrow?
We are back every day forever.
As always, guys, now for real, for real.
Sure.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.